Hello, I am Dr. RJ, and you caught me in the middle of grooming one of my patients, one of the smaller ones. Well, I'll get back to that in a little while I speak to you. So, hello everyone. I am Dr. RJ, Monster Veterinarian, and I am here to answer your questions about your monster, cryptid, or kaiju. Strange questions about strange creatures. So, let's begin. My first question is from George Henderson of Wallingford, Seattle, Washington. He says, on a camping trip, my family and I found a Sasquatch and adopted it. A perennial favorite, those Sasquatches. People have always loved them. Our two kids love them. That's sweet. The problem started when our son's friends began calling him Bigfoot. Oh, dear, they hate that name, really. They do. Our Sasquatch is very offended by this body shaming. Well, they all feel that way. I don't blame him. And he began sulking, and he spends all his time hanging around my wife's vegetable garden. Well, they are vegetarian, so maybe that'll make him feel better. And while he produces some good fertilizer, our kids are upset that he doesn't want to play anymore. We can't get the neighborhood kids to call him Normalfoot or Cutefoot, and they can't pronounce Sasquatch, so it's a big problem. Yes, I can see how this is becoming a big problem. We thought we could cheer him up by getting him a nice pair of shoes to hide his big feet, but we couldn't find a pair of size 59 wide boots. Well, those are very hard to find, I must admit. We tried to include him in our family pictures for Easter. Well, that's a very nice idea. But they all came out very blurry for some reason. It was very strange. No, not really. That just seems to happen with Sasquatches. Every time you try to take their picture, it comes out blurry. It's just a thing that happens. I don't know why. I have to do some research on that, but yes, it always happens. Bigfoot and cameras don't like each other. Our Sasquatch is very bummed out, and he's begun hiding from us. And you know how hard it is to find a Sasquatch when they don't want to be found. Yes, I do. In fact, there are all those TV series about finding Bigfoot, and none of them have ever found him yet. We tried to get him a nice foot massage, but the masseur took one look at those feet, ran away, and has been ghosting us ever since. How rude. We're out of ideas, and Sasquatch is still sulking. How do we make our Sasquatch smile? Toe-to-toe with trouble in Wallingford. George from Washington. Well, George, I'm very sorry to hear about your sad Sasquatch. There's nothing worse than a melancholy or morose monster. They're much more sensitive than people think. Just because they maul and mangle people, everyone thinks that they're cold-hearted, but they actually have very big, soft hearts. And when you get past the brutal rampages, they're actually big teddy bears. So you just have to understand that they're very, very sensitive creatures. After all, Gamera is the friend to all children, right? But really, Sasquatches, they don't like it when people make fun of their feet. I guess you could say that anyone who makes fun of their feet is their arch enemy. Get it? Arch enemy? You see what I did there? Anyway, it's like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. When anyone made fun of his shiny nose, he would get all depressed. He'd sing, "Why am I such a misfit? I'm not just a nitwit." And you know the song. Anyway, it's the same thing. If Santa has no tolerance for strange furry creatures, what do you expect from little kids? So, what do we do to get your melancholy monster into a better mood and make your Sasquatch smile again? Well, how do we make a monster merry? Well, everyone loves a winner. So, what you need to do is find something that your monster is good at. It'll make him feel better. It will impress everyone around him. And I know just the thing. The Silver Shamrock North American Hide-and-Seek Championship is now allowing monsters. Yes, that is the case. The North American Championship is now allowing monsters. So, you know the Silver Shamrock Hide-and-Seek Championship, right? I'm sure you've heard of it. You know the jingle, right? Remember the jingle? Happy, happy, hide-and-seek, Silver Shamrock. You know the one. Anyway, enter your monster in the Hide-and-Seek Championship because it's now allowing monsters. Now, think about it. Who is better at hiding than a Sasquatch? No one, right? All those TV shows wouldn't be on TV if Sasquatches weren't so good at hiding, right? Think about it. Nobody's better at hiding than a Sasquatch. The only one better at hiding than a Sasquatch is an invisible man. But they're terrible at seeking. They're great at hiding, but they can't seek worth a damn. See, Sasquatches are very good at seeking because they have great noses. They are the bloodhounds of the animal world. Terrific noses. Not shiny noses, but keen noses. So they will win those hide-and-seek championships, and it will lift their self-esteem, and it will impress everyone, and they'll get a big trophy. And when they have big trophy, people won't call them Bigfoot anymore. They'll call them Big Winner. And that will solve that problem, and everyone will love your Bigfoot, and maybe you can even get them to start calling him Sasquatch. So, I hope that helps. So, now on to my next question. Oh, I have another question here from... Oops, wait a minute. Mix my questions up. Okay, my next question here is from Emily Gale of Wheaton, Kansas, and she writes, we live on a farm off the beaten path, and my niece Dorothy gets a bit lonely, so my husband and I bought her a witch for company. Oh, that's very thoughtful. We felt that a witch had the additional benefit of being able to give her broomstick rides to the city. When there, she can meet other kids. It's very clever. That's good thinking. I like that. However, whenever they go there, they play with a group of girls who have their own witches. Our witch is now part of a playdate of pet witch covens. A covener of pet witches, I should say. That's adorable. A coven of pet witches. That's very cute. Unfortunately, the coven is full of mean girls and bullies. Oh my. Witches can be so wicked. They pull nasty pranks. Oh boy. For instance, they told her she was too awesome to drive a stick. Bad pun. So they convinced her that she should fly on a vacuum cleaner. Yikes. Little Dorothy was mortified to see her witch cruising over the neighborhood on a Hoover upright. I don't know who I feel more sorry for. The worst part is that those things only fly when they are plugged in. Once the extension cord reached its limit, our witch plummeted to the cornfield below and got beaten up by the children of the corn. Oh my, this is painful. And that's not the end of it. Oh, there's more. Oh, she almost melted when the other witches put a sign on her back saying, "Pour some water on me." Oh, now that's going too far, really. Yesterday, when she was parked outside the Pointy Hat Haberdashery, those other mean little witches had her broomstick towed away. Now that is cold. Our little witch is so humiliated, even a black cat can't cheer her up. Well, when a witch can't be cheered up by a black cat, then that's really bad. Our witch is so embarrassed she's taken to turning herself invisible. Aww. Even Dorothy is upset. So what can we do to stop those mean witches from picking on our little witch? Concerned in Kansas, Emily from Wheaton, Kansas. Oh, well, Emily, I am very sorry that you and your daughter have to go through that. You're learning why witches are not called wonderful witches. You know, that word wicked is chosen for a reason. That's the way they are. The term witch is very appropriate. I can tell you that I've had many flying monkeys come here looking for antidepressants due to the way those witches treat them. Yeah, even some black cats have taken to painting themselves white so that the witches won't want them anymore, just to get away from them. You know, the witches have such a cruel sense of humor. They thought it would be funny to put a curse on Steven Seagal's film career, and, well, look what's happened to that. So, oh, that's very bad. So, what do we do to get them to stop being horrible heads? Well, let me see. I have a suggestion. Hear me out. You said your witch could turn things invisible. So what you do is you get a whole bunch of... First, let me remind you that all witches have a fear of having a house dropped on them. That's just a thing. Ever since the cyclone of 1900, all witches have this big fear. They have nightmares about houses being dropped on them. So what you do is you get yourself a bunch of balloons, like on the House from Up, and then you have your witch turn the balloons invisible. Okay? And then you go to the other witches, or you have your witch go to the other witches and say, I can lift up houses, and I will drop it on you if you keep being mean to me. You know, have to say, yeah, right, tell us another one. You can't lift up a house. No witch can do that. Then you release the balloons, invisible balloons, and it lifts the house up, and they'll think your witch is doing it. They will be terrified, horrified. They'll look and say, oh my God. And suddenly, I guarantee you, from then on in, they will be nice to your witch. They will be very, very nice to your witch. In fact, she can have them running the vacuum cleaner and riding on it. So do that, and I guarantee you that that will solve your problem with those mean witches. Well, I wish I could do more, but that's it for today. So I have to get back to my patient, and also I have a goat man waiting in my lobby, and if I don't get back to him soon, he will ram down my door, and I do not want to have to fix that again. So that's all the time I have for this week. I have been Dr. RJ, Monster Veterinarian, and I was here to answer your questions about your monster, cryptid, or kaiju. Strange answers for strange questions about strange creatures. So until next time, have a monster of a great day.